All right, Casey, how's it going tonight? We doing okay? It's snowy in South Carolina.
It is.
You got any of that white powder flying from the sky?
We did, and my kid is 8 years old, as I've talked about before, and I think he's probably outside currently, like on that last piece of snow with his snow boots on and snow pants on, just like eating it all up until it goes away. But it's been pretty much gone here towards the coast. I know the upstate and the Midlands of South Carolina got it a little harder, a little tougher than we did down here.
Absolutely. And since we were last together, last weekend we had ice in South Carolina. This weekend we have snow in South Carolina. There's been several days of SEC basketball. Things pretty much stayed status quo in terms of how you would expect them to happen, other than Florida really breaking out in the middle of the week with a record-setting performance, 95-48 over South Carolina in Columbia. And then yesterday, we had a few things happening as well. Texas A&M takes down Georgia in an important game as that SEC race continues. Vanderbilt continues to take care of business, 71-68 over Ole Miss. Kentucky goes to Arkansas, where the Razorbacks have been really, really good, and gets them 85-77. Kentucky is such an interesting team this year. And then Tennessee able to take care of Auburn. A little bit of up and down start for Stephen Pearl's tenure. And then today, you will hear later from David Soderquist. We actually recorded with him live this afternoon to talk about the Florida basketball program and the Florida football program as we move through the offseason. And we were recording in the middle of this game, and so I'm giving live updates there, but I'll go ahead and spoil it in case you haven't caught the score. 100-77, Florida beats Alabama. More on that one with the addition of Charles Bediako and a guarantee from Todd Golden that they would, quote, beat them anyways. All right, so we'll get to that here in just a little bit, but those are the SEC men's basketball scores of the week. That race continues to be wide open as we march on, pun fully intended, towards the SEC tournament and then the NCAA tournament. It's February 1st, and that means we're right in the thick of basketball season. Don't let it sneak up and surprise you, because March Madness is right around the corner.
Did you see Olivier Rioux, the 7'9" wonder, came off the bench and scored for Florida tonight? That was awesome. I think they are. Maybe it's recency bias because I watched that game today. Man, top to bottom, they are really good again.
They are.
They started off a little slow, and then they slowly started to build. So I think Todd Golden's got them cooking.
Yeah, we talked about it
They're
a little
fun.
bit. And I've said this all year. Earlier in the year against Duke, you could tell that they were missing the guards. But Xavier Lee and Boogie Flan have made up enough of the gap, but I think they've shifted to play that game through some of their bigs. Thomas Houck is really the best player on the team, in my opinion. And if they can work through him and he can continue to become a number one, I think that they can really have some success down the stretch. But it has been everybody. That's the thing, though. Everybody's been a little up and down across the league.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're not careful, we've kind of gotten lulled to sleep into not knowing who is that good, who's not good, as we make our way into tournament time. And then we're going to be filling out brackets. And you better know what you're doing by the time we get there.
Real quick, like Tennessee's had a good week. Obviously, they knocked off Alabama last weekend. They knocked off my Dogs in a midweek game. That was a really good overtime game. That was one of the very exciting ones. Did you catch what he said in his press conference yesterday? He said, sometimes I wonder if my guys are betting on games.
Well, because he was talking about the passing, and then he covered his eyes. Now, everyone I think on this show knows that I am a stand for Rick Barnes. I love that man more than my dog. I don't know. See, he makes you say weird things. That's just who Rick Barnes is. But he covered his eyes. He said erase that. He did the whole thing. But Tennessee's coming into form, though, Craig. They are. They finally have a little bit of an identity. They know what they are. And, I mean, Rick Barnes will get you to the Sweet 16 just about every year. It's just trying to win this daggum thing. He's only been coaching for 100.
I know. And that was the thing. Like, Georgia came in last week. They were, like, number one, averaging over 90 points a game. But one of the things that you've seen since the start of, like, SEC play is Georgia wants to get out and they want to run. They want to go fast. They're averaging 17 points in transition. Now they're averaging less than 10. And what have you seen? Them go 0-3 in their last 3 games. Now, the midweek game against Tennessee was great. For whatever reason, they needed to hit a 3 at the end. Instead, the guy decided to drive to the bucket, hit a 2, so they only lose by 1. I guess it looks better on the scoreboard.
Gambling.
Yeah.
That's just boneheaded mistake.
Oh, it's rough. I was talking with John a little bit after that game. I was just like, man, what are you doing? Except I was probably a little more colorful language than that, but we will keep this PG for the kiddies.
Family show.
Right, family show.
Something like that. Okay.
Did you want to talk about the Q's Boston game, or do you want to wait?
Yeah, those were definitely SEC teams and definitely an SEC sport for sure, Craig. No, the flip side of your Georgia game this weekend was that Buckyball and Texas A&M continue to be one of those consistent challengers in this SEC race, and I'm really interested to see how that continues to shake out as well. There's just so many moving parts and pieces. Who is Auburn going to be? Who is Kentucky going to be? Who is Rick Barnes in Tennessee going to be? Buckyball and Texas A&M. Georgia has shown some promise. Vanderbilt continues to be one of the most consistent teams there. I know I'm missing somebody as we go down this list because I'm not actually looking at it. I'm just kind of spouting things off. Oh, Florida and Alabama. We just talked about from today. The first SEC men's basketball game on a Sunday since the 2017-2018 season. Thank you, SEC, for finally giving us something that we appreciate and not putting 2 East Coast teams in a 9 o'clock p.m. tip-off slot. Can't figure that one out yet either. Okay.
Can I give you a little piece of information that nobody wanted to know that I thought was interesting yesterday?
That is absolutely what we're here for.
All right. Auburn's top assistant and probably Bruce Pearl's scapegoat when he got in trouble all those years ago at Auburn, Ira Bowman, is what played for Rick Barnes at Providence 100 years ago. My brother graduated high school with Ira Bowman.
Look at the tie-ins.
Didn't he have some legal trouble when Bruce got fired?
That's what he just said.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
He took the brunt of all of that.
Yeah, he's a fog. Yeah, but listen, you know what he learned? He watched Goodfellas, great Christmas movie, by the way. And what do you learn? You don't rat on your friends.
That's it.
And he did.
He jumped on the grenade.
The Pearls being in Knoxville before Auburn was the clear tie-in, but who knew in that game it was actually Ira Bowman and Rick Barnes. There you go.
I told you.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's do some boards, shall we? It just means more genius. Brought to you by our friend MBG, who provides the board for us every week and presented right here by Casey Cregan. All righty, let's jump in and see what we've got this week.
Ooh, I can't wait. MBG says Ole Miss should sue Dabo for slander. # sue everybody.
Pick up right where we left off.
Kay Austin says, what happens if Dabo doesn't have proof? So all this talk of investigation and Dabo, quote, having proof, let's say no proof is found. Shouldn't Dabo be punished or even sued for slander? I'm very interested to see how all of this plays out. Now, before you guys make a comment on this, the best place for legal advice is the message boards. So what say you to aspiring lawyers?
Always go into the message boards. You know, there's a lot of lawyers coming out of Oxford, and so their message board is actually probably one of the more prominent places to look for legal advice because they have so many lawyers in that system. So that makes a lot of sense, Casey. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, you know, this is classic message board grasping for straws, I think, right? Where we're gonna take it on the chin a little bit. You said it last week, and I think if we look at this realistically, this has nothing to do with Ole Miss. This whole conundrum, they're getting caught in the crosshairs of everybody talking about tampering, and we went into 101, 201, 301, whatever 01 we want to classify this as. There's tampering happening everywhere, and we even saw Pete Golding doubles down this week and goes after and gets a couple more. So maybe he's okay making it about Ole Miss. I don't know that there's a slander case here though, boys.
I just like this is a VIP post, so obviously there's a legal correlation there because it's a VIP post. So, you know, I had to Google the difference between libel and slander. I was just making sure that we're using the right terminology, right?
Fine line. Two things. If anyone watched the press conference, Dabo had to the minute of when these text messages were coming in, where everybody was. So I'm sorry, Kay Austin. I don't think he lacks receipts in this. And two, Oxford, among many other places, got hit really hard with this. So I just want to send our thoughts out to Oxford, Mississippi. I know the students were sent home. They're not even going to start class for another week. So hope everyone's all right down there.
We reached out to our friends of the show, Miss Evie and David Walker. They reported back earlier this week that they were both doing well. So
Good.
Thoughts are with you two, both of you guys and everybody in Rebel Nation.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun when there's some snow to play in. Not a lot of fun when there's power outages and property damages and people start getting hurt relatively quickly. So I agree. I echo what you guys had to say there. All right, we talked about the Pearls. Let's continue that. Let's continue that theme.
All right, MBG says, imagine Bruce Pearl at Kentucky with $22 million. Our friend Anon 175-976-8907. Why Anon? It must be it. Anyway, imagine Bruce Pearl. Did I just say that already? At UK with $22 million. He says we would have Stokes, Holt, and likely a all SEC player too.
And is it an SEC or is it a SEC player?
Could be a SEC player because
somewhere in there with that 22 million, this user may also be able to learn that there needs to be that you use the article "an" before words starting with a vowel, not a. That just
it's like a chef.
Bugs me.
It's like a chef when you're out at a restaurant. You know, you don't change when you're at a 5-star restaurant. Don't change the parsley. You know, don't say I don't want the asparagus. I want the. Can I have French fries instead? Like, you don't do that. But with a message board poster, same idea. You know, Anon wants it to be A.
Yep. Okay. Got it. Didn't realize that was a 5-star message board, but now that you've cleared it up for me, that's great. You know, this Bruce Pearl thing, before we speak on it, we have another one actually in the same thing.
Oh, is there another one? Oh.
Message MPG says South Carolina needs to make Bruce Pearl say no. Our friend SC Mark 01, probably a listener of Chief Sports Network, at least I hope so, says Bruce Pearl, please go make him say no. 10 years, $100 million guaranteed. Just effing do it. He'll be 75 when he's done. And yeah, he's an ambassador for Auburn. Who gives a crap? Yeah, his son is the coach there now. Who cares? Pitino just beat his son for 900th win, and Pitino was 80. Will he say no? Probably. But give him anything he wants. I love how he ends this with, will he say no? Probably.
So you're telling me there's a chance. So you're saying there's a chance.
Make him say no.
I don't totally hate this argument, not just from Kentucky or South Carolina or anywhere. Any program that feels like they need to go get a coach, I don't know that I wouldn't call Bruce Pearl because the odds are that he is going to say no. But does anybody have a definitive answer? This is a genuine question for anybody out there listening or either of you two. If anybody's got a source, can we get this confirmed? Does anybody know if Bruce Pearl has said on the record he's never coming back?
I think he was just trying to avoid any sort of issues at Auburn, so he passed it on to Steven. So might as well get out while the getting's good. Head to Gamecock land. They're going from Under Armour to Nike. It's a good transition. He's won at Tennessee. He's won at Auburn. Go get your own cock caboose in the contract and go win.
Well, the other thing that sticks out to me here too is that we had a Kentucky board included in this as well. And Craig, we can make an argument for South Carolina giving him a call because the South Carolina basketball program is not in a great spot right now. Let's try to put it as politely as possible. I'm not sure
they
that
need
I want
Casey to go to more games.
Throw a ton of dirt on it, but yeah, Casey's the good luck charm. But outside of when Casey has been there, it's not been great in the SEC. So, you know, you can make an argument for a program that's struggling. Kentucky, on the other hand, we've discussed here in weeks past in our basketball segments and in our message board segments, because we've talked about the expectations in Lexington being set at maybe an unrealistic mark. And then you have Mark Pope coming in there and trying to be perfect in a world where they just fired Mark Stoops and they're coming off of a bad football season and everybody's like, let's rely on basketball. And then it's not exactly perfect. I think that the NCAA tournament is huge for Pope and this Kentucky team because they've been so up and down during the season. things just they're turning a lot more quickly in this college athletics landscape this day and age than they used to. And if you don't pacify people very, very quickly, that instant gratification tends to kind of well up in the form of a buyout.
It doesn't seem like they're happy with Pope, though. It seems like
No.
since the start, but it seems like since the start of the year, and he's brought heat on himself, as we've talked about. But like it just seems to be a general discontent with Mark Pope in general. So to me, it's like, if I'm Kentucky, I'm going to make that call. Why not make another big splash? You got Will Stein going to do some things. Go call Bruce Pearl.
Is Bruce Pearl the Urban Meyer of college basketball, though, or will he become?
That's a great question. I think that he might be. That's a fantastic.
That is
fantastic comparison to draw that. What if he doesn't come back? Then he really is Urban Meyer.
Yeah, but I
or John
Gruden. for all the slander we could throw at Bruce if we wanted to. I do love the energy that he brings to like the fan bases, especially like when he is going out and supporting the women's basketball team and like painting his body and just going out. And we did that at Tennessee. He's done that at Auburn. He's rejuvenated Auburn. I don't see, why not? Come on, South Carolina. Come on, Kentucky. Let's get it done.
South Carolina has had some legendary coaches come in, no doubt.
Frank Martin.
Not on the yes, but when it comes
baseball, to football,
I was going to say it's kind of the South Carolina MO. It's kind of the South Carolina MO to have this need for a savior, and it began in the form of Lou Holtz, and then you had Steve Spurrier, and then of course you had Paul Maneri coming in for the baseball program heading into year 2 with hopefully a little better outlook than what they had in year 1. Already some injuries on that baseball front, but it's not quite baseball time for us here on SEC Sunday night yet. But yeah, I mean, South Carolina has had some coaches that have done really big things in the past, national championship winning coaches coming into other sports. So is it time to bring somebody into the basketball program that has that type of resume? Maybe so. Okay, let's move on. Let's see what I haven't grabbed here. There we go.
All right.
This is a great one right here.
MBG says Mississippi State equals the Harvard of Mississippi. Oh, man. Why can't I? Oh, there it is. Our friend Voo Dude says Mississippi State equals the Harvard of Mississippi. Mississippi State has 77% acceptance rate. Compare that to Ole Miss with a 99% acceptance rate. Why is this? So obviously
probably
it's
straight
much
facts.
harder.
Do you think this is straight facts from like the Ole Miss and Mississippi State admissions office?
Yeah.
You need to speak on this, Casey. You have more experience in Starkville than we do.
Starkville's just a little bit more selective. That's all. It's beautiful. The Courtyard Marriott, not a sponsor of this show, is a wonderful hotel, and it's close enough.
Is that the Mills? Is that the big one? The big
by the Mills, there by the Mills. Yeah, beautiful. They have what's his name? Shipley's Donuts right off campus. They have wonderful dairy. It's an A&M. It's an agriculture school, so they have wonderful dairy and ice cream.
They got a couple of good places in the Cotton District to
Bulldog Burger, Three Brothers.
What? When I think Harvard, I also think agricultural school with good ice cream.
Starkville.
So that's a good comparison.
Well, does that mean Ole Miss is Yale?
Who doesn't like ice cream?
Rob's probably like, I need like zero sugar, Zevia based ice cream.
No, I just do the avocado ice cream because that's what Tommy does.
I have extra sweet tea. He's got sugar free.
Look at you. That is not sugar free. That is the opposite of your zero sugar Dr. Pepper.
I'm not going to bed for 3 days. Starkville is beautiful. I've never been to Oxford. I hope to get there.
We got one for you.
Been to both, enjoyed both. Would still pick Oxford just because
you're a jerk. MBG says, bring DeShaun Watson back to Clemson. Really true friend of mine, Clemson _Tiger 29678 says, DW4 returning to Clemson with the Bediako stuff at Alabama. It feels almost right for DW4 to make a return to Clemson. His NFL days are behind him. Let's bring him back this year. We need a quarterback. He needs a job. Why not? I mean, as a Clemson guy, this just makes way too much sense. Does he win the job over Chris Vizina, though? That's a good question.
You know what I want to know? This is a complete joke of a post, and I totally get that.
No, it's an assistant coach with Clemson. That's what it
But-
says on the board.
But
Chad Morris.
if Charles Bediako can come back and play for Alabama, as we have seen he is doing, we now have a player who played in actual NBA games who is
Trying to get
challenging to
back.
try to come back. Yes. What is the slope? Are we on the slope where this board becomes not so much of a joke?
That's the scary thing, Rob, is that
it
things
possible?
like this seem like it's a joke, but then watch things start to happen, and then we look at this post going, wow, maybe not DeShaun Watson, but some guy that tried to leave early, got hurt or something, comes back.
Do you
Who are
need
we
like a
suing?
South Carolina
Who are we
judge?
suing to get back in?
No names jump off the page at me.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm saying like if the player is trying to come back into college and they have to go to court over it, who is battling them in
No.
court? Is it the NCAA?
It should be.
Because
They've
if it
shown
is,
they don't
if
care.
it is, then let's go to court, baby. We'll bring everybody back from the NFL because it's not going to work out for the NCAA.
So
It
so
never
I
does.
so I have a basketball question.
Yes.
If you play in the European League, can you play in the NCAA?
You're still a professional.
Right,
So-
but that's what I'm asking. Like, if
Yeah,
I'm
you
playing
can.
over in Europe, I'm playing in Romania, I'm playing in Yugoslavia. Can I go to Clemson and then play, or can I?
Yeah, you can.
You can, right? Yeah, there
Yes,
are
you
guys
can.
that
So like
That's what he's getting at. Is that's the loophole.
that it's the loophole, and like, listen, I don't want these guys to be able to come back and play. But what I'm saying is like, that's the problem, and that's the challenge. Like, that's where the NCAA's got to figure out who is actually eligible. The other challenge you also have, these guys are getting huge NIL contracts. They're not quote unquote employees. They're not professionals. But like, it's so muddied and it sucks. And again, I am not advocating for these guys to be able to go back, they be like Eddie Money and start saying, hey, I want to go back. I want to go back. But like, I'm looking at it from that holistic perspective. And I'm trying to say, like, okay, they really got to lock this out? But like, again, the NCAA has shown time and again, they have an inability to do that.
Well, if nothing else, it worked out for them, right? Because they brought somebody back. They brought somebody back from the professional ranks to Alabama, and Florida won the game 100-77.
did
Our
Craig
friend-
just
our friend-
go with Eddie Money?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I
number
saw
of
Eddie
revenue-
Money in concert. I saw Eddie Money unplugged at the Palace of Auburn Hills when I was like 10 years old.
He's a big Eddie Money guy. He's made that reference to that song specifically at least 5 times in the 2 years that we've been running on shows
I
together.
want
Right,
to go back.
Our
Yeah.
friend John Smith says Alabama's just 2 to 3 more former NBA players away from being able to compete with the best teams in the SEC. Here's the thing. This has become a giant joke, and I get it. And Todd Golden, with all the confidence in the world, says, we'll beat them anyway. And then they did. And I applaud him for his national championship level confidence. Who doesn't want a coach who believes his team is going to win? We're going to talk about that here in just a minute with David Soderquist. Casey, thank you, as always, for bringing the boards for us right here on SEC Sunday night.